आज हम बात करेंगे जीसेट के लाइब्रेरी एंड इंफॉर्मेशन साइंस के अगस्त 2017 का पेपर 3 के बारे में। फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन, इन टेलीकम्युनिकेशन अ circuit switching network is one that establishes a dedicated channel between nodes and terminals before the users may communicate. Identify the research techniques that will be best for a study to compare the themes of best selling novels with those that did not sell well. Content analysis. Index translationum is a word bibliography of translation of books. In marked format record, directory functions as index to the location of variable length fields. Identify the canon that leads to changes in the rules of a catalog code. Canon of context. For the first time in 1923, E.W. Hulme used the term statistical bibliography. Identify the library that provides the facilities for IPLA's headquarters, the Royal Library, the National Library of Netherlands. Doubling core metadata elements related mainly to the instantion of the resources are date, type, format, and identifier. The mathematical theory of communication is concerned with transmission of symbols representing in a message. According to IBLA, libraries must support freedom of access to information and reject censorship. Reason: because libraries have unlimited information. A is true, but R is false. A biological abstract is now produced by Thomas Reuters. Match the following in the context of information cycle. Instantaneously is related with the social networking, same day mainstream media, next day newspaper, following week popular magazine. A questionnaire are often used in survey as the primary data collection instruments. Reason: because questionnaires prevent personal contact with respondents. A is true, but R is false. Information: the message is something received or obtained through informing facts or figures. Identify the statement that is not true about ISDN. ISDN is a simply point-to-point solution like a lease line. Match the following. The library literature is bibliographical database. Chemical abstract is subject-oriented database. Census of India is numerical database. Emerald is full text database. Which of the following is not true about informal communication? It has a present agenda. Ebooks can be hacked. Second statement, ebooks can allow the enlargement of reduction of font. Both A and B are true. Frequency distribution is a means of imposing a degree of structure and order on numerical research data. Match the following and select the correct answer from given quotes. Lisa, published by ProQuest. Lista, by EBSCOhost. Social Science Citation Index by Thomas Reuters. Library Literature and Information Science by H.W. Wilson and Company. Match the following and choose correct answer. Conventional document, periodical. Neo-conventional documents are specifications. Non-conventional documents are microfilms. Meta documents, Google Maps. The use of the term minor authors in the literature class of the earlier edition of Dewey Decimal Classification is an example of the violation of canon of practitioners. Which of the following is an example of intra-array relation? Relation between the first and the second house of the Indian Parliament. Which of the following is mismatch? So Rajasthan 2002, that is mismatch. Actually Rajasthan Public Library Act established on 2006. Statement 1, search engines are retrieval tools. Statement 2, all search engines may not have their own lexicon. Both A and 1 and 2 are true. Which of the following is mismatch? Classical School by Chester I. Bernard. Which of the following is a synchronous communication tool that can be used in e-learning? That is instant messaging. The concept of emptying digit facilitates hospitality in array. Which of the following is true about the concept of information policy? It involves identification of appropriate agencies to implement the policy. Who has defined information retrieval as any device which adds access to documents specified by subject and operation associated with B.C. Vickery? Who wrote Organization of Knowledge in Libraries and the Subject Approach to Books? H.E. Bliss. Match the following: Index Translationum, UNESCO, Science Citation Index, ISI, Library Literature, H.D. Wilson, Index Medicus, National Library of Medicine. Which are true about job analysis? First, it determines the abilities, skill, knowledge, and experience required for the job. It leads to job description. Identify the example of associate relationship. The birds pollination. In an empirical study of the effects of open access on borrowing pattern, open access is an independent variable. Neutral network is database management system. Statement 1. First edition of CC was the first scheme which could be called as a completely analytico-synthetic classification scheme. Statement 2. But the 7th edition of CC is not an analytico-synthetic classification scheme. 1 is true, but 2 is false. The PMEST formula for sequence of fundamental category is in the decreasing order of their concreteness. This group of users make ample use of information communication channels, both written and oral, such as the invisible colleges, conferences, correspondence, etc., scientists and researchers. Legitimate power is based on a subordinate internalized belief that the supervisor has the right to direct the person's activities. Gibbs law can be used in identification of occurrence of target words in corpus. The microchip was invented by Intel. Identify the law that justifies digit 2 for mother country in geographical isolates in the 6th revised edition of CC. That is law of parsimony. Arrange the following universities for starting a formal library science education program in the ascending chronological order. The first University of Madras, second Banaras Hindu University, third Bombay University, last University of Delhi. The standard subdivision 024 in DDC denotes works for specific types of users. It is an example of bias page relation. In a classification of person, the groups infants, children, adolescents, adults are known as an array. Identify the correct chronological order in which the following were established from the earliest to the latest. First, National Library of India, second, Delhi Public Library, third, Document Research and Training Center, last, Raja Ram Mohan Rai Library Foundation. In duodecimal classification scheme, the provision to classify general collection of biography is in the main class 900. Which of the following names is associated with the planning of university library building? Henry Faulkner Brown. The Connemara Public Library is named after the then governor of Madras. Match the following: big data with Hadoop, data mining, Orange, DOI, International DOI Foundation, metadata, Dublin Core. Match the following: INSPEC related with the Institute of Engineering and Technology, Bioscience related with the Thomas Reuters, Medline related with the US National Library of Medicine, Bridge related with the British Library. Ferber essentially maps attributes and relationships to user task because its objective is not to provide a structure framework for relating the data that are recorded in bibliographic records to the needs of their users. First is true, but second is R is false. Match the following: application layer, FTP the application layer, TCP transport layer, IP network layer, data link layer is Ethernet. Match the following: the Bodleian Library at the Oxford, Saraswati Mahal Library available at the Thanjavur, Bhandrakar Oriental Research Library at the